Morning friends, welcome back to the online classes. We were going through the chapter, lesson 10, the beggar. I have already finished a little bit part 1. Today I am going to have part 2. And we have seen that how the beggar asked for alms from Sergei, and Sergei happened to come to know about him, and he says that I have seen you already earlier. You were there in the other street, and you were telling that you were what you call rusticated from the school. You were a school boy and you were rusticated from the school because of some reasons and all. Then Sergei told that now you are telling that you are a teacher and all, so that means you are a cheat. So I will call the police and I will hand you over to them. So the beggar understood that he is caught now, he cannot escape from him. He tells that this is the reason and all, that I was banned in the choir, and because of his drinking habits he was removed from the band. Now he is struggling to live. He does not have proper job, nothing and all. People don't give him job because of his drinking habit. So Sergei said, come on, I'll give you, you come and cut the wood for me. Again he has makes excuses because he doesn't want to do any work. He wants to be a lazy fellow. So he is not ready to go for the job. But then since he was caught up in his own words, he had to go with him. Sergei took him to his house and asked for Olga, the maid, to take him to the woodshed and make him to cut. So he had no other choice but to go and cut the wood. So up to here we had finished. Page number 64. Page number 64 on the top. Next, he saw the pseudo teacher seat himself on a log and become lost in thought, with his red cheeks resting on his fist. The woman flung down an axe at his feet, spat angrily, and judging from the expression of her lips, began to scold him. The beggar irresolutely pulled a billet of wood towards him, set it up between his feet, and tapped it feebly with the axe. The billet wavered and fell down. The beggar again pulled it to him, blew on his freezing hands, and tapped it with his axe cautiously, as if afraid of hitting his overshoe or of cutting off his finger. The stick of wood again fell to the ground. So when they came inside the room, Olga and the beggar, he immediately went and sat on a log of wood because it was cold and he was not interested in doing any work at all. He just sat there, putting his chin, sitting like this, putting his chin in his hand. He was sitting there on the log. Now, Olga went and brought an axe and threw it in front of him. It just fell near to his feet, and Olga looked at him. He also looked at Olga, and Olga was saying words to him in an angry way. She was scolding him, you can say. She was shouting at him, why you are sitting idle, why you are sitting lazy, do some work, you are a good man and all those things. You have a good health and all, why you want to beg, why don't you go and do something, that sort of thing, as usually the women do. So she started scolding him. He somehow caught up, took a very small log, kept straight, and with the axe just hit like slowly. He did not put full strength, slowly hit. The log fell down. It did not break at all. It just fell down. Again he kept it straight, blow the air, cold, since you blow the air, rubbed it. Again he was very cautious, to hit on the legs, on the log, because he was afraid that it may get hurt on his leg. His leg may get cut, the axe may go and hit on his leg. So he was very cautious about it and cutting, so that he may not cut the finger at all. So he was very much cautious about it, and again the log fell down. Sergei's anger had vanished, and he now began to feel a little sorry and ashamed of himself for having set a spoiled, drunken, perhaps sick man to work at menial labor in the cold. So now Sergei's anger, what was there before for the beggar who was once told that he was a school student, now he was selling a teacher and all. So his anger all went, and he felt a little sorry for this man, for the beggar, because he said that he is old, he is feeble, he is very weak, he does not have any strength. What wood he will cut? He was feeling very sorry and all, and thought of that in this cold, how the fellow will do the work. An hour later, Olga came in and announced that the wood had all been chopped. Good, give him half a ruble, said Sergei. If he wants to, he can come back and cut wood on the first day of each month. We can always find work for him. So, after 1 hour, Olga came and told to Sergei that all the woods have been cut. So Sergei also was very happy. Okay, good, fine. He has finally done his job. So give him 1 ruble and tell him that if you want, every first of the month, every month, first day, he can come and cut the wood, and we will have always some or other odd works for him to do. So he can come every time, every month, and we will give him some work like that. He can have some money, he can earn some money. On the first of the month, the Valve made his appearance and again earned half a ruble, although he could barely stand on his legs. From that day on, he often appeared in the yard, and every time work was found for him. Now he would shovel snow, now put the woodshed in order, now beat the dust out of rugs and mattresses. Every time he received from 20 to 40 kopecks, and once even a pair of old trousers was sent out to him. So every month, first day of the month, he would come and he will be asked to go and chop the wood. Now, remember, he is a drunkard. So whenever he comes, he drinks and comes. So he cannot stand properly after drinking. He cannot stand. He will be just shaking, moving here and there. He cannot stand how to cut the wood. So the Sergei was not knowing exactly what was happening. So he used to go, every time he used to get some money, half a ruble, 1 ruble something, and he used to go. And every time, every month he used to come and some more other work would be there. Sometimes he would be given to shovel the snow, remove the snow on the top, on the vehicle, on the road and all, just to remove the snow. Sometimes he would be asked to rearrange the wood shed, wood maybe here and there, dispersed here and there. So collect them and put it on in an order. Like that. Sometimes he would be asked to dust the carpets, the sofas and all. The dust will be there. So just remove the dust. So some or other work he would be getting and he will be doing it every now and then. Half ruble, so a few kopecks, or even once he was given a trouser, an old trouser which was not fit for Sergei. Now he had given to him. When Sergei moved into another house, he hired him to help in the packing and hauling of the furniture. This time, the waif was sober, gloomy and silent. He hardly touched the furniture and walked behind the wagons, hanging his head, not even making a pretense of appearing busy. He only shivered in the cold and became embarrassed when the carters jeered at him for his idleness, his feebleness and his tattered fancy overcoat. After the moving was over, Sergei sent for him. So when Sergei had bought a new house and he was just shifting his things and all, again he was called, he had come, and this time he was not so happy. He was a little gloomy, he was a little feeling sad and all, because Sergei is going now, he may not get the job, he may not get that amount, the money what he was receiving every month. So he was a little upset about it. He did not do any work. He was simply standing. He was just moving with the wagon, behind the wagon in that cold, shivering and all. And the other workers, those who were there, who had come to shift the things, they made fun of him. They started shouting at him. They started telling him that you are idle. Why you are walking? Why can't you go somewhere? All those things. Poking him, passing comment on him. But he just was walking like that. When the things were shifted, everything in the new house, when everything was settled, Sergei called him. He asked him to come and meet him. Well, I am happy that my words have taken effect, he said, handing him a ruble. Here's for you, your pains. I see you are sober and have no objection to work. What is your name? So Sergei called him and started talking to him and said that I'm really happy that what I told you, you accepted it. And the best part of yours is that you never refused any sort of work. Whatever work was given, you happily accepted and did all that work very nicely. So I'm very much impressed by you. Here, take the ruble. And I have not asked your name. can you tell me what's your name? Lushkov. Well, Lushkov, I can now offer you some other cleaner employment. Can you write? I can. So when he asked about his name, he gave his name, that his name is Lushkov, and he said that I am really happy about it. Now I want to give some work, what do you call, kind of a clean work. So far you're working in the woodshed, cleaning the snow and all everything. So all dirt work was there. So you will be always dirty. This time I want to give a work which is not dirty, which is a clean work. Can you write? And he said, yes, I can write. Then take this letter to a friend of mine tomorrow and you will be given some copying to do. Work hard, don't drink, and remember that I have said to you goodbye. So what do you call, he gives an envelope. Sergey gives an envelope to the beggar, to Lushkov, and says, take this letter to one of my friend and he will give you some work of copying things. That means you have to just copy whatever he does. He is also an advocate, so he will be writing something in his handwriting. Now you have to just write, or he will dictate and you have to write. So that type of work it is, and it will be a good, and he will give you a good amount also, and say goodbye. Pleased at having put a man on the right path, Sergey tapped Lushkov kindly on the shoulder and even gave him his hand at parting. Lushkov took the letter and from that day forth came no more to the yard for work. So Lushkov, Sergey went and patted on his back, gave his hand, shook his hand for the first time. So imagine a man to a beggar. Normally we don't shake the hand with the beggar or pat on the back of the beggar. But here, this time, Sergey shook his hand as well as patted. Why? Because he was impressed by him. He was working everything and he was ready to work ahead. So he was very happy about it. So he said, okay, come on, you go to this, and he went. And from that time onwards, Lushkov never came back to the yard to cut the wood. I believe you have understood this much. We'll end here. The rest of the story will finish tomorrow. Till then, have a nice day.